of Al-Haji Tasma Muslim School in Banima County, Liberia. He did advanced religious studies in Rabat and Casablanca in the Kingdom of Morocco. He studied accounting and finance at the William College in London, UK. Brother Kosia is regularly involved in inter- and interreligious dialogue between Muslims and other people of other faiths. He's a regular lecturer at most Islamic events, at mosques and other community settings. Please welcome Brother Kosia to the stage.
You're welcome.
Our next speaker is Sheikh Khalid Yassin. Sheikh Khalid Yassin was born as a Christian in New York City, where he spent most of his childhood. In 1965, Sheikh Khalid embraced Islam with the late Sheikh Dahu Ahmed Fasah of the Islamic Mission of America located in Brooklyn, New York. Sheikh Khalid has studied the sources of the Sunnah, Islamic creed, reading of the recitation of the Holy Quran, Islamic history and the Arabic language with several teachers and mentors. Two of his teachers are the late Hafiz and Kareem Abdul of the Punjab and Sheikh Khalid al-Wahani of MUCA and Mukarramat, who is a student of several leading Islamic scholars in the world today. Sheikh Khalid has dedicated the last 35 years removing distortion and misconceptions about Islam and Muslims. He has delivered lectures in more than 89 countries worldwide, resulting in over 75,000 people embracing Islam directly from his hands or after listening to his over 150 recorded lectures. There are hundreds of students in Australia, Malaysia, East and West Africa, the United Kingdom, Europe, Turkey, Canada, and the United States, completing the Presenting Islam and Islam in the 21st Century courses offered by the Purpose of Life Foundation. Sheikh Khalid has dedicated himself in the past 20 years in advancing young Muslims, especially those who are minorities living in Western societies, towards citizenship and social minorities, and social responsibility. He has been working towards the revival of Islam in the modern world while uplifting the consciousness of Muslims towards social responsibility. His theme for the 2017 and 2018 is Islam in the 21st Century. I believe Brother Kosia is upstairs, and he will be here in a few minutes. Thank you very much.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى. والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. نحمده ونعبده ونتوكل عليه ونتوصل به. ونعوذ بالله عز جلاله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له ولي الصالحين. واشهد ان سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا محمدا عبده نبيه وليه ورسوله ارسله الرحمن من رحمته وعلى آل بيته الطاهرين وأصحابه المتقين والصالحين الذين اتبعوهم على طريق الهدى وماتوا على ذلك. Brothers and sisters in Islam, I greet you all in the most universal and palatable greeting word of peace, which is Assalamu alaikum, that means peace be unto you all. And this is a very good greeting for both the greeter and the people, or the person being greeted, both being rewarded. So if you greet Assalamu alaikum, you get rewarded for saying Assalamu alaikum, and the responder in return also is rewarded by Allah. So may Allah bless this gathering. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and the merciful, I bear witness and testify that there is no other sovereign deity worthy of being worshipped except Allah. And I do bear witness that Prophet Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him, is Allah's slave servant, his messenger, his apostle, whom Allah has sent to mankind to guide us. So whatever little one we see here today, may Allah give us the willpower to implement it. We welcome you all once more for this unique occasion, and we hope and pray, this is our aspiration, that becomes a success. We are all Muslims, or even if you're not a Muslim, this is a worthy cause. It deserves your money, it deserves your support, it also deserves your presence. And not just here, but this should be a continuum and perpetual help from you towards this unique project, especially building an Islamic institution. Liberia being one of the oldest nations in Africa, arguably between Liberia and Ethiopia, for us, we are quite certain that in 1847 we obtained what we call our independence. Well, if there's a real independence or not, that is left with politicians to decipher that. Now, in this our community in Liberia, in particular, we as Muslims, this is our duty to propagate Islam to those who are limited or have no knowledge. And fortunately enough, as humans, Allah has granted us this wisdom and honor. If you check the Quran, Allah, when He created the progenitor of mankind, Prophet Adam, may Allah be pleased with him, his introduction, because later on nothing was known about Prophet Adam alayhi salam. This is the first human being that was ever created. And now the angels, when Allah asked them to prostrate in a form of respect to Adam, they doubted that why should we prostrate or to make sujood for an unknown person? But Allah, out of His majesticity, introduced Adam with knowledge. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. The very first gift that was ever given to our progenitor, which is Adam, was knowledge. That means knowledge is our universal right, and we should all seek it. And being a Muslim as well, we being the last generation of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, Allah, during the revelation of the Quran, in Surah number 96, Surah Al-Alaq, Allah, the very first communication between Adam and Muhammad, although he was unlettered, was to read. Iqra, read in the name of that law, the law who created mankind from a cloud. Read in the name of that law, who is the most generous. He is the one who taught mankind with pen, taught mankind what he knew not. Iqra, bismi rabbika alladhi khalaqa, khalaqa al-insana min alaqa. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. So that means from the originality of creation, the first gift that was given to mankind was to learn. That was given to our progenitor Adam. And the Prophet Muhammad, ﷺ, who happened to be the sealed of all prophets and messengers, his introduction, the first communication between he and Allah was to read or to learn. And he actually did exactly that. And he encouraged people to read and learn. And knowledge, of course, the priority should be given Islamic knowledge. But this should not just be the limit. Now, the speaker earlier said something here today which very struck my heart was, Randall Dawate, through his auspices, we were able to secure this house. In New York, to secure such a building, we know that could be in thousands of dollars. But it was granted, right? No money paid because one of us is somewhere else. In the Quran, the last verse, in Surah number 9, Surah At-Tawbah, Allah says, "Ba'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, wa ma kana al-mu'minuna liyanfiru kafa, falawla nafara min kulli firqatin minhum ta'ifatun liyatafaqahu fi ad-din, wa liyunziru qawmahum idha raja'u ilayhim la'allahum yahdharun." Muslims, we should not just all go to memorize the Quran. There should be engineers among us. There should be mathematicians, technicians. People should be diversified with this. This is the strategic planning. Now, had we all been devoted to Islamic studies, for example, with all due respect, he probably did not do Islamic studies. But look at what he has done for us today. Right? This is a plus for us. At least the overall cost of renting this house, that money will have been used or will have been used to support our project. So we should all be diversified in different. And Prophet Muhammad did not in fact oppose secular studies. In one scenario, there was a fellow called Zayd bin Haris. When the Prophet migrated from Mecca to Medina, after Sulh Hudaybiyah, Muslims were people to reckon with. So other emissaries from other nations, international war, used to send communication to Prophet Muhammad, but they were all Arabic speakers. But people from Persia and Syria, they were communicating in completely different language. So the Prophet said, Zayd, to learn another language. In another narration, he said, it is incumbent upon us to learn or to seek knowledge, even if it causes us to go learn from non-Muslims. In another scenario, after the Battle of Badr, something very important happened. Those days, the rules of the law were, if you capture someone in a battle, this was the norm, you had to kill them or enslave them. But after the Battle of Badr, when the people of Mecca, the Quraysh of Mecca, overwhelmingly amazed an army that had never been seen in the Arabian Peninsula, tried to kind of annihilate Muslims once and for all. Allah said, وَكَمْ بِفِيَةٍ قَلِيلَةٍ غَلَبَتْ فِيَةً كَثِيرَةً بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. It is with the might of Allah that a minority, as long as they are established on truth, they can overwhelm the majority. This is exactly what happened. Almost 1,000 plus men coming to attack 330 persons. And Allah triumphed the Muslims. What happened? There were 70 KIA, 70 non-Muslims killed in battle, 70 CIA, 70 captured in the battle. Now the Prophet had an option to either kill them or ask them for ransom. What did he do in return? He said, if any non-Muslim combatant who was captured in a battle, if you can teach 10 Muslims how to read and write, that would be the price of their emancipation. That gives virtue to education. You would have taken money from them. He needed money, of course, but he prioritized education. So meaning, this is in the history of Islam, this is the first and only time where you see an Islamic institution where all the instructors or all the teachers are non-Muslims and all the students are Muslims. That means we should prioritize education. What can we do better than this? Support this worthy cause. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا بِمَنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Who is more virtuous enough? Who is the best of you more than he who spends for the cause of Allah and spend in the cause of education to make sure that Islam is elevated? This is the cause. When it's somebody around here right now, or Sid Allegory or Sayo Kamara, you see people competing who will be the first to issue the first $1,000 check. People will be mad. People will be angry because their name is now called first to be the first person to give that first $1,000 check. Here we are today, people are sitting. If you can give $1,000 to a praise singer who want to tell you who is your mother, who is your father, you know yourself better than any other person knows you. This is the cause that we expect you to spend for the cause of Allah. And the Prophet ﷺ said that the best jihad, because one time when he came from one of these expeditions, he says, we are finished with the lesser jihad, now we are going to embark on the greater jihad. After 23 years of struggle, battling, he said, this is the man of jihad. The major one is coming. And they said, what is that? It's the jihad in us. In our day, the best jihad today is to fight with the ink. Because the Prophet ﷺ said that the ink, a drop of an ink of a scholar is better than a blood of a jihadist. If you use your pen to propagate Islam, this is, in our contemporary time, the best way to fight, the best way to propagate Islam is وَادْعُوا إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبِّكَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. In the Quran, Surah number 16, Surah Al-Nahl, verse 125, that invite to the way of dialogue with wisdom and good preaching and example, and call people with that which is good. So the best way to call people is not to fight. Muslims are not a majority. 1 out of every 5 persons living today on earth is a Muslim. We have 5 billion Muslims on earth today, but still we are a minority. Economic-wise, educational-wise, We do not have any power to fight anyone today. But our fight should be with the ink and sponsoring scholarship. This is our institution in Liberia. It's not the only, but this is one of the best and one of the earliest established since 1960. So please, this is our cause that we should all help to promote. Now, the second advice that I have for myself and you people here today is for us to get out of the bubble. Because one of the problems hindering the advancement of Islam today, not just in Liberia but around the globe, is this self-seclusion. We think and we believe that automatically being a Muslim, we are the better, or we are the best. This is a big order that we have. Although, if you ask people, they will say, Allah says, Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas, in the Quran, Surah number 3, verse 110, Surah Al-Imran, that you are the best of all generations. But if you want to interpret the Quran, you don't just go for the text, you go for the context. What does it really mean? If you just start to what Allah says, and don't go beyond the preface and the average to this world, you're going to completely get the Quran wrong. Allah said, you are the best of all generations, created for the benefit of mankind. Why? تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ لِلْمُنكَرِ. So not only calling yourself a Muslim is not quite enough. What makes you better or best is your interaction with the community, with your neighbors, with your colleagues. What is your approach towards them? What do you bring on the table? Calling yourself a Muslim is not quite enough for you to say, I'm better than the non-Muslims. Of course, today, we see some people, non-Muslims, beneficiary, important to Islam and Muslim than some non-Muslims. Typical example, look at Al-Shabaab today in Somalia. Look at Boko Haram today in Nigeria. What are they doing? Their very victims are Muslims themselves. They are not propagating Islam. They are chasing people away from Islam, and Allah said, what do we establish Islam? Come people with good preaching and examples. What are they doing? Putting exposing one themselves to go and kill people. Now, look, there was a scenario, an incident that happened when Prophet Muhammad was alive. There was a fellow called Al-Mudhim Adi to tell you that not all non-Muslims are automatically enemies to Islam and Muslims. And automatically, people who call themselves Muslims, they are not all helpful to Islam and Muslims. We have seen the example of Boko Haram and Shabab. What are they causing for us today? If you arrive at JFK today, or Heathrow Airport in England, and you call yourself Mohammed or Yusuf, even if you're a good person, the first thing that will come to the man of the immigration to take you aside because you have this natural suspicion. Muslim. You did not commit any crime. But a Mohammed somewhere, or a Musa somewhere, or an Idris somewhere, or any member of a religion is putting explosive on himself to kill innocent children, pregnant women, and even Muslims themselves. But the Muslim with Adi, there was an embargo imposed on the Muslims those days for almost 3 years. No one would buy from the Muslims, no one would sell to them, no one would intermarry to them, no one would even communicate with them. And in fact, they exercised the Muslims. Put them away in the valley. That no one would ever. In those days, the way we have this global market system, where we have open market system, things were not that way that time. We have what we call barter trade system, where people exchange goods with goods. Now you carry cash money or currency to the market and buy something, or you go online, Google, you order something, they come and just deliver at your doorstep. No, those days, basically, you were involved, and goods were being exchanged with goods, barter trade system. Could you imagine? Muslims were in minority. Number two, economically, they were not empowered. But they were being put in a seclusion and embargo on them. And what happened? A non-Muslim, to tell you that not all non-Muslims or not all non-Madigos are enemies to Madigos or to Muslims. This man, called Al-Mudhim ibn Adi, he was born a non-Muslim, and he also died a non-Muslim. But Prophet Muhammad gave him a tribute after he had died. This man, the embargo that was being imposed upon the rest of Mecca, including a few Muslims, this man was an architect to break this embargo. He said this is an injustice, meaning an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This man fought for the Muslims, although he was not a Muslim. He was fighting for a just cause, not because he was a Muslim. A Muslim would Adi, who put food at the back of his camel in the middle of the night, risked his life to go and give food to Muslims. He was not a Muslim. There was some Muslim who was staying in Hadi. A Muslim would Adi, with Prophet Muhammad, after this embargo, this and the direct consequence and result of this embargo his beloved wife, Khadija, to whom he was been married for 25 unbroken years, died, an immediate and direct consequence of this embargo. But she was his political shield, his economic shield. Abu Talib, the father of Ali, radiallahu anhu, Sayyidina Ali, his father Abu Talib, although he did not die Muslim, he also said that as long as I'm alive, I will always protect you. No evil of the grace of Mecca will ever befall you. And he did just that, a non-Muslim. So Abu Talib also died at the immediate and direct consequence of this embargo. Now, he went to Taif, almost 80 to 85 miles away from Mecca, to try the message. According to Aisha radiallahu anha, he asked the Prophet, has there been any single day in your life that is more difficult than the day of Uhud? Only about during the expedition of Uhud, this is the day that they personally struck the Prophet till he blew some of the teeth from his mouth. He fainted. But he said to Aisha, indeed, there is a single day worse than the day of Uhud. And she said, what would be that day? He said, when I went to Taif. It's not just, when you want to understand the gravity of a scenario, don't just look at the episode, look at things surrounding what is happening. In Taif at the time, Prophet Muhammad left out of desperation. Those days in Mecca, people were very protected by their kinsmen. Who do you have behind you? There was no Abu Talib, there was no Khadija. So virtually there was no one to protect him. So when he went to Taif to try the message, they denied him, they denounced him, and they abused him physically. Could you imagine, like, if a brothers and sisters, excuse me, if a woman just newly gave birth, you know, all those things that come around, they took when the camel gave birth newly, all those bloods, and all those stuff they went and put on the Prophet. This is the man whom Allah said is the best of all creation. He was desperate, hopeless. But Prophet Muhammad, when he left the house, when he gained consciousness, and the very first person that gave him food they gave to eat was a non-Muslim, Ali. A non-Muslim gave him food to give him consciousness. So when he went back to Mecca, there was no way he could have entered Mecca without the intervention and supervision of someone. There was no one to do that. Who stood up, Mu'tib Ali, the same non-Muslim man. He told his children that whoever that touches Muhammad, he will find me as a contender. A non-Muslim, Mu'tib Ali. He did this. So the Prophet was so grateful to Mu'tib Ali, and this story is in Bukhari, it's in Muslim. Muttafaq alayh, all scholars, non-Muslim, read upon it. Mu'tib Ali, when he died before the expedition of Badr, which was the second year of the Hijrah. After those people that were captured are setting, the Prophet gave them condition that if each of you that were being captured, if you can teach 10 Muslims how to read and write, this is the freedom, this is the price of your freedom, this is the price of your emancipation. Mu'tib Ali, the Prophet says, Abu Bakr Siddiq was sitting, Umar was here, Uthman was here, Ali was there, all those takun, those big Sahaba, they were all sitting. The Prophet did not consider none of them because, you know, if someone does right, regardless of him being a Muslim or not, and get the person the flower before he or she dies. And the Prophet categorically said, in the presence of all the Sahaba, he says, لو كان المطلب عليه حيا ثم كلمني في هؤلاء ذاتنا لتركتهم له أو لتركتهم له أو لأجله. And they been to the unfortunate that Mu'tib Ali is dead. For they been, although a non-Muslim, and they been that he's still alive today, I would have emancipated all these people for his sake, would have really had to single down on their behalf. A non-Muslim. So if we think today that all non-Muslims are automatically enemies to Islam and Muslims, look at what is going around the world today. With all due respect, Pope John or Benedict, he's not a Muslim. But if someone does something right, we should learn to appreciate this is the foundation of our religion. Even if the person is not non-Muslim or non-Madigo. He went 3 years ago to Syria. So Syrian refugees, they went to Greece. They were exposed to the cold, approaching winter. They were in the openness. He took it upon his time to visit these people. So out of generosity, he just said, you know what, I can't just come here and go like every 100 days. I'm going to take 6 family here from these people to go. And at random, we know Syria, if you take people by random, the permutation is every 10 person, at least 9 will go Muslim because they are majority Muslims. So he took 6 family here. And 5 of them happened to be Muslim family, the rest was a non-Muslim family. And then unfortunately for the non-Muslim family, his documentation was not in order. He said, well, we can't take you because your things are not in order. Let's go for the next one. They make another random selection. They took another family, who happen to be a non-Muslim, to be a Muslim. So 6 families here. Now, these are the icons of non-Muslims. But what they did, they help people. So if someone does right, it doesn't really matter who the person is, you get to recognize this fact. So if you love to recognize, trust me, this will be another means to propagate Islam. In Liberia, case scenario, the Sheikh will come here today. He was born in 1946, 1 year immediately after the Second World War. He's actually 72 years today. And this is someone that I very personally admire. Sheikh Yassin went to Liberia recently. Allah made 23 person to revert. I hate to use the word convert, because Islamically, everyone is born on the path of Islam. So if this is your routine, you're coming back to your root, this is not a convert, it's rather a revert. In the Quran, Inna hadaynahu sabila imma shakira wa imma kafura. So naturally we are all born submissive to Allah, Muslims. So to the 3 person reverted to Islam. But guess what? Most of them are going back to their old ways. The reason is bigotry. We Mandingos, we think we own this religion. And the Muslim, we think this religion belongs to us. If you're not a Muslim, you don't belong, you don't deserve any credit. This is wrong. Why do we just say not becoming Ikma with Muslim Hassan? Prophet Muhammad, in one scenario, there was a fellow always used to disturb me when he's asleep. So one time, this man every night would be drunk to disturb the Prophet. So 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights, there was no drunk sound. And the Prophet ﷺ was concerned. So he decided to go and greet this person. After greeting, he said, "Oh Muhammad, how did you know I was sick?" He said, "Well, it's been 3 nights now, the place is quiet. So I was concerned that something might happen to you. So I decided to come to reach out." And the Prophet said, "Okay, I'm leaving." He said, "Okay, you can leave." So what happened is that when the Prophet turned his back, this man went to him and said, "Muhammad, if you consider me to be an enemy, if you can take upon your time, I've not been helpful to you. In return, I'm always hurtful to you. I'll disturb you when you're asleep. Or if you can take your time, all your basic hour to come and greet me, and you consider me to be someone important in the community, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa annaka ya Muhammad Rasulullah." This is the propagation we are speaking of. Preach to the way of that law with good preaching and examples. With all due respect, my Sheikh Advisor Sheikh Kali Yassin, I just have to reiterate what I just said. He was in Liberia recently, and 23 person reverted to Islam. And he said something, I'm monitoring online, he said, there's a your responsibility now as an ummah to make sure that these people, you keep record, you keep track of them, that they don't go back. Because sometimes, in fact, it is encouraged in Islam to even bribe someone to accept Islam. In Islam, according to Sharia, the 8 group of people that are qualified to be recipients of zakat, in Surah number 9, Surah Tawbah, verse 60, among them, this is the Udev group. Even the person is not Muslim, that some scholars say is qualified to receive a zakat, because giving them that little stipend can encourage the person to stick back to his religion. But we are telling people, Maligo people think the religion belongs to them exclusively. Muslims are not going out. We are not getting out of the bubble. Stay by ourselves. None of us here really requires preaching. We are all Muslims here. But the target should be those who are not Muslims. But how can you bring them on board if you are already doing this kind of demarcation? Us against them. And the Prophet said he was the perfect example. In the Quran, Surah number 33, verse 21. Indeed, they have been the best of all examples, the best of all emulations for you Muslims to follow Prophet Muhammad. That's why he did. He had friends among Christians. He had collaborators among Jews. In fact, before he could die, his garment that he used to wear to go for expedition was being pawned to someone, a Jewish man. It's not that because he couldn't afford to get it. Usman were there, Abu Bakr Siddiq were there, Ali were there, all those Sahaba were there. But Allah made him do all these things for him to become a preaching for us that today, the large generation, we Mali people that are not Muslims. Those of our brothers and sisters today who live in New York, some of them are driving taxi cab. I don't know of any Muslim agency here today that have, how they call it, the stop the cab people use, how they call it, the medallion. Most of them are Jews. But if you have just come to legally look for money, you see a Jewish man that has this opportunity, there is nothing wrong working with him. But if there's something going on that is against your ethics, your religion, step back. Not all Christians are bad, not all Jews are bad. ليسوا سواء من أهل الكتاب منهم أمة قائمة يتلون آيات الله يتلون آيات الله وهم يسجدون. They are not all equal. Look at Najashi. He was not a Muslim. But at the end of the day, he embraced Islam. Till he died, this was the first person that the Prophet ﷺ performed Salat al-Janaza in his absence. Finally, before I close, to welcome our Sheikh on the stage, in November 25th, 2015, there was an incident that occurred in a city in Texas called Futureville. Some Islamophobic, they went and vandalized the Islamic center there. A little boy, Swansea, 7 years of age, a non-Muslim, from non-Muslim background. He has absolutely no Islamic genealogy. But he was a human being, he has conscience. A little boy, 7 years, had what we call the Peggy bank. We all know the Peggy bank, those little bank where the kids go and put in their coins, to accumulate money. So when he heard this information, he said, no, this is an injustice. A little boy of 7. He went and demolished his Peggy bank. The actual amount of money that he had there in cash was $20. He told his parents, no, an injustice has occurred, has been put against the Muslims in our community. This is my last money, $20. He took it and gave it and donated it to the Islamic community in Futureville in Texas. So if you think that all Muslims or not, that all non-Muslims are enemies, look at this little boy. There are some good people among them. But the problem is we are not reaching out, we are just in our bubble. On Madigome, you can never eat with a non-Madigome. Who told you that? As long as the food you are eating is halal, you can call them to come. But if you draw this kind of demarcation, you are telling them I'm better than you. How do you expect them to come? Give them the chance. Preach them. Spread out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we have the honor to welcome our Sheikh on the board. Sorry for overburdening you. But this is our responsibility. We should help the Sheikh and come to our country. Thank you so much, Sheikh, for coming to Liberia. At least for the people that came to Islam, including those that are not yet Muslims, let us all try to reach out to them. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Takbir. Takbir. Thank you very much, Brother Kosia, for this beautiful remark. And we're now called on the stage Sheikh Khalid Yassin. Thank you.